Welcome to lesson 5-5. Use sharing to divide. Two-digit divisors. And your I can statement is, I can use place value and sharing to divide by two-digit divisors. Go ahead and push pause and then push play after you've wrote your topic and your I can statement. Okay, here is our solve and share problem. We're going to follow cubes when we work through this problem. And we're going to read through it first. And it says the recycling club has $294 to purchase one set of recycling bins for each of the 14 members. Each of the 14 sets of bins will be identical to the others and cost the same amount. What is the greatest amount they can spend on one set of bins? Use objects or draw pictures to help solve this problem. Explain how you found your answer. So we're going to first look, one of the things that kind of stands out to me in my head is we're getting the total amount, which is $294. And there are 14 members. And it says, what is the greatest amount they can spend on one set of bins? So we want to know the greatest amount they can spend on one set of bins. But as we box keywords, there's words that really stand out to me that helps my brain and the flashlight go on that this is division. One is each of the 14 sets of bins will be identical to the others and they will cost the same amount. Oftentimes when we see words each or they'll cost the same amount means that we're going to be dividing when we evaluate. Those are just some light bulb words that you pick out. We're going to take our total, and oftentimes too when you're given the total, you know that the total is going to be your dividend. And then your divisor, well, we want each of the 14 members to pay the same amount. So we're going to take 294 and we're going to divide that by 14, and that's going to tell us how much each of those members are going to pay for a recycling bin. Now, there's many different ways. We can use objects, we can draw pictures to solve the problem, and you kind of get to choose. One of the ways I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through probably how you've been taught, which is dad, mom, sister, brother, or whatever acronym you use. And I'm just going to go through this step. And as I'm talking through it, I'm going to talk to you through my mindset. So 14 is not going to 2. So I'm going to put a 0 up above in my quotient and mark that spot. So 14 goes into 29. I know this knows that 14 times 2 is 28. And if you guys try 14 times 3, you'll find that you will get something that's too big. 4 times 3 is 12, carry your 1, and that's 42. So 3 would be too much. So it's to go into it twice. And then 2 times 14 is 28. You subtract, then you bring down, and then you divide once you bring down again. So 14 goes into 14 once. 1 is 14. And notice we're getting the same amount. So our answer would be, what is the greatest amount they can spend on one set of bins? So each person will pay $21. To me, in my mind, that's easier. Another way that you probably could have used to figure this out is to know, use compatible numbers. If you have 294 and you're dividing it by 14, I know 280 is compatible with 14, and that would be 20 because 14 goes into 28 twice. And then if I take, I'm running out of room, but then if I take 294 and subtract 280, I get 14. Then 14 divided by 14 equals 1. So 20 plus 1 gives me $21 that each person would pay. So you could use compatible numbers as well if that's another way that you would like to do it. When we look at Tessa's work, wow, she drew a picture of it. And she did $20 because she knew that 14 can go into 280 20 times. And then we would need to add one more 14, so we would get $21. And, oh, Theo did compatible numbers. He did 280 divided by 14, which is 20. Then he subtracted, and 14 divided by 14 is 1. So when you add 20 plus 1, you get $21. So that's another way. For our summarizing section, I would like to have you write down how you chose to solve the problem and why you chose to do it that way. Maybe you chose compatible numbers. Maybe you drew a picture. Maybe you just did working it out and dividing that 3-digit by a 2-digit number. So go ahead and kind of just reflect on your thinking and bring your work to school tomorrow.